back on, if you've got a regular increasing ridership because population is going up, and providing good services and whatnot, you'll see a dip and then you'll typically see it start.
Although Capital Metro is really flat if you look back over quite a few years. I mean,
Yeah,
it's got this,
last
but
few years, but it has had the fare increases of the last few years. I mean,
Yeah.
since 2007 or 2009, and effectively they've had 3 fare increases.
It's been growing stronger in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very rapid.
So it'll recover, but the fact matters, there's no product that I can think of other than maybe, Coach handbags or something that if you raise the price, more people buy it. I mean, typically if you raise prices on anything, you're going to have some sort of impact on your usage, and then your hope is you're providing good service, new people learn about your service, you recover from there.
What was if you increase fares by 2%, you lose a certain percentage of ridership?
The fare elasticity, so I use negative 0.25, and that just means that for every 10% increase in fares, you would say you lose 2.5% of your ridership.
Okay.
We're not talking necessarily about 10%, we're saying that's how the math works, and so you can use that rule of thumb, and you hope it's less, and sometimes it is less. From a national experience basis, typically the lower your average fare started out to be, the lower that impact is. So I think our estimates of ridership loss will be on the high end. Maybe because Capital Metro's fares are so low already, you'll have a smaller impact. But to be conservative, you want to look at what might you lose.
Do you know why Capital Metro hadn't implemented any fare increases earlier on in the 80s or 90s?
To further
Well, because they had sales tax and it provided adequate revenue when really the services were mostly just running the bus. It wasn't these additional modes. And I think there was a policy that it was a low fare policy. They didn't put a lot of emphasis on it. So you saw the experiment they ran in the 1990s of literally 1990 of having no fare. But it was all around, they had a dedicated revenue base and a fairly narrow range of services.
Can I ask on the ACC and Austin programs, and maybe UT, but ACC and Austin, in terms of equity, is the amount the city and the ACC are paying, how does that fit in the context of how much each individual ride is costing? In other words, is that amount the city is paying so low and the use is so high that people are getting a hell of a bargain? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Capital Metro services are a bargain of $1, so of course it's a bargain of 50 cents.
I mean, in comparison to what Joe Blow is paying.
Yeah, and I think that's why if you looked at that corporate partner program, that was the idea of standardizing it and reducing the discounts. I'm not going to say, because don't go quote me this, I have no idea if it's not like tomorrow they're going to go raise it on the city of Austin, but the idea was to create some sort of standardization, and ultimately all those contracts would fall into that standard program. So it would be not as much of a discount as they're seeing today, but obviously that's up to Capital Metro to decide whether that happens. That may be a long time coming. I don't know if Billy can answer that or not, but now I don't think it's hurting Capital Metro in the sense that, for example, the city of Austin ridership on that, it's not like there's so many people using it that you're having lots of extra buses out there that are costing a bunch of money. It's not a program of that magnitude, so I don't think you have to worry that right now that somehow this program, by giving these people a deep discount, is costing Capital Metro a lot of money. That's really not the case. You are filling up seats on existing buses.
And I think you're also weighing it against another goal, which the earlier presentation made, which is trying to keep people off the streets, and give them alternative methods of transportation. And you have these large employers you work with, so the board will weigh all of that. I mean, just as it's going to weigh all of Nancy's recommendations.